Hey, everybody. Damn, I've got 51 people waiting. No intro. I never do intros. When I try, there's always an issue. And, oh, there it is. It's telling me how many's watching now. I would give a shout out to everybody, but y'all know how I feel about that. We could be here for a long time, but I do appreciate each and every one of you showed up. Those of you in the bushes, the clouds, wherever you prefer to be, shout out to y'all too. I ask one thing. Can you hear me? Just let me know that. Hey, tits. So I can be heard. If I can be heard, it's all good. So, real quick, I guess y'all can hear me. Thank you, Michelle. Michelle, I need to mod you up. I'll do that in a minute. I'm gonna stay focused. Real quick, if there's any of my old sector in here, this show won't be about any of that, and I will be doing a complete revamp of this channel. I just got an email from YouTube again. They had taken down another one of my videos about carbonation, so this ain't working. So yeah, called it spam and something. So I'm going to be doing a complete revamp of the channel. It's unfortunate. I'll leave some of them, definitely, but yeah, things are going to have to change. Oh, did you? Oh, stars. Yeah, a lot of y'all were waiting. But today we're going to talk about friendships on social media. And I will not be speaking in subliminals. I hate that. I will say names. Don't worry about that. Friendships on social media. Let me start off by saying, oh, God, I started in Discord, I want to say March of 2020. I can look and see. I think it's March of 2020, or not 2020, 2022. Started out in Ziggy's Discord. Tanga saved a lot of us and brought her to her Discord. Screech is in. Sorry, I'm late. It's okay. Hold on just a second. Okay. And long story short, we started our own channel called The Jerks. We're still around. We still do lives. I think back in October of 2023, when we were monetized, we thought about making a perk to the channel. That perk would be a members only Discord. Pearl, you're off, scum. For anybody just starting out, I'm going to give you a fair warning about members only Discord. There's always going to be somebody sneaking in to take your channel down. Just the way it is. It doesn't work. So long story short there, we had to close that one down. And then we made a very small Discord with just people we trusted. Now, one of those people would be Chris. Chris is the devil, whatever. I think she changed her name back to Chris it. A lot of y'all know Chris. Yes, stars, and it's got to be. Everything you say in Discord, you got to be able to say out in the YouTube streets. That's the way it's got to be. It just is. There is always somebody in there ready. Look, even if they liked you at one time, friendships on social media are very tricky. And I think a lot of it is because Maybe some people stop looking at the person behind the avatar as a real person. Maybe they're disposable to them. Not now. Don't call me now. Maybe they're disposable to them. I don't know. But I think a lot of people start to look at the person behind that avatar, even though you talk to them every day, as somebody you can throw away. Maybe you got bored and you needed to move on to new friends. Some people never grow out of that mentality. Some people cannot maintain friendships. Oh, sorry, Pearl. Hey, Queen.
Hey, it's okay, darling. I was quite happy to hang around in the back. I just didn't want you waiting for somebody to come up, but you carry on, sweetheart.
Oh, no, you're good. But I don't think some people can maintain friendships but for so long. Um, Chris is definitely one of those. Without going into too much detail, but some of the detail, because you have to, or it doesn't make sense. Um, and I got a video I'll queue up in a little bit. A few days ago, 4 days, 5 days ago, a person that we loved Chris. And you don't just stop loving somebody because they do you dirty. You don't. It'll take a minute, but I'll get over it. She comes into Discord saying a bunch of weird stuff that didn't make any sense to us. We finally get on the voice call. She starts just like vomiting, throwing out all of somebody's business that she had heard. Not that she had spoke to that person about, she had heard. Now she had all the opportunity to go to the person she had an issue with, which let me remind y'all, it wasn't even her issue. See how weird things get? She had all the opportunity to go to that person and say, hey, is this true? Did you say this? What's going on? Not Chris. No, Chris has got to burn it all down. What'd you say, Pearl? She pulls in the station and sets it on fire.
Yeah. What I actually said was she pulled in a borrowed tank, somebody else's tank with somebody else's bombs, throwing them everywhere. While we tried to deal with one point, another point was coming. I couldn't speak because it was the early hours of the morning. It
Yep,
was quite something. I'd never seen anything quite like it, and I hope never to see something quite like it again.
exactly. Yeah. So when she does come into Discord, she's what she had done is she had picked up somebody else's battle. Now, what I call that is a send off. Foot soldier, somebody put a battery in your back and sent you on your way. Um, if you can't if you can't handle a battle on your own, I, I don't respect the person that you sent in. I can't. So when she comes in, she's throwing out all these reasons why she's mad. So and so yelled at her 2 weeks ago when she'd been acting different. Rules for thee, but so and so wasn't in the chat at the time. Something else, and something else. She was giving out all kinds of reasons, and we kicked her from the Discord. I made it clear you ain't welcome here. I do not respect send offs. Meaning, if you allow somebody to put a battery in your back because that other person didn't want to handle it on their own, you got to go. Now, the thing about Chris is there's a lot of good things about her. There really is. You can't help but like her. But
It's true. It's true.
it's true. And I'll miss her. I would be a fool to sit up here and lie and say, fuck her, I ain't gonna miss her. No, I will. But we were warned. We were warned and warned and warned. And I hate to bring up Purple. Purple said it. And that's one thing Purple always stuck to is you can't trust Chris.
Hey,
Chris,
even a broken clock is right twice a day. So, but
exactly.
and this thing, she was right.
She was right. Chris will turn on you eventually. She can't help it. She can't maintain. Not in those words I'm paraphrasing. I did tell Chris on that call, so you are doing exactly what we were warned about. Chris, I don't think you can maintain friendships for very long. Um, I don't know why. That's something else. And I'm not a doctor, I'm not a psychiatrist. But there is something there that after a while, I don't know if she becomes restless and needs to just burn those friendships. Now, to hear Chris tell she would give you 1,000 reasons why she did this. Um, None of them, I believe, are true. Excuse me. Go ahead, Pearl. I'm going to get a drink.
I just think that it is really sad. I genuinely did not see this coming. When she first started making comments in the side chat of the voice chat, we were all like, is that actually Chris's account? What the hell is going on? And then when she finally came into the voice chat later on that evening, it was extraordinary. It was like,
I
I
thought
don't
she
know. It
had
was,
been hacked.
yeah,
I did. I thought she had been hacked. I told everybody stop talking till we hear Chris's voice because this was so random that I really thought she had been hacked. Now, to give a little bit of a backstory, there is a guy involved in all this. He goes by the name as his name's Matthew. A lot of y'all know Matthew. Um, Something was said that we didn't feel comfortable that he had said, and we'd put a boundary there. And that day it kept getting brought up. It got brought up a few times. And we just made it clear, look, this is our decision. The person that was kicked from Discord was kicked. It's our Discord essentially. It wasn't about who addressed him, who called him out, because we had, hey Vicky, we had all agreed we're not giving this any air because that's what he wanted. You know, you can tell when somebody is sub picking. You can tell when somebody is trying to get a beef going to get their views up. We see it all over every sector. It ain't just here, it's what people do. They will try to cause arguments and fights with other channels to get their views up. It's manufactured drama. Now, we weren't biting, we were not taking the bait, but what we were doing is putting a boundary there. And that was it. Some people, I guess, didn't like that, felt a way about it,
and to
and
give it
had.
some perspective, when we make it, just saying a boundary makes it sound like it was some silly arbitrary decision. It wasn't. It was a very serious thing.
It was
It
serious.
was a choice between standing with people that we loved who had been hurt, or just ignoring their hurt to keep the peace, which would have been the easier thing to do. But I'm sorry, I don't play my friends that way. And
Yep.
in that choice, I stand with the people who are hurt. And if you want to call me moral police on your high horse, whatever, have at it. I don't care. Those were the boundaries that we chose, and I don't regret it.
No, I don't regret it either because I can sleep better at night knowing that I stood for something that I believed in instead of, making all the excuses. So back to Chris. Chris, this one's for you. Okay. Um, Matthew goes live last night. Most of y'all in chat already know that, God, it's not like it's a secret. It's all over. Matthew has been talking to different women on the internet. It's what he does. whatever.
Months ago in this circumstance, but that doesn't seem to matter.
Right. A friend of ours, she, by the way, let me preface this by saying she's single. She wanted to flirt with him. That was her business. Here's something important to know though. She never brought it to us. We didn't even know. It wasn't brought to us until, well, somebody had to bring it to us and then she had to explain. But just because you're my friend and you're talking to some other, I don't need to know. And she kept us out of it. Like she didn't bring us, meaning the jerks, into her business.
The
But,
same way that she didn't talk about having a difficult relationship with this other woman who's
right?
very much involved in this. She doesn't roll that way. That doesn't happen.
No, no. And that's the thing. And I think a lot of people thought, oh, well, not a lot of people. I think the other person thought she was trying to poison the well. Unfortunately, nope. She never really even talked about you. Now, about a month ago, that person had came to me and was telling me some things about my friend. And me being who I am, I'm always about going to the source. Always. When you get too many people involved, things get messy. So I took her straight to the source that she had the issue with. They talked, they worked it out. That was the end of it as far as I was concerned. But to a guy named Matthew, he said, no, watch this. I am damned and determined to get something going, and I will. And he did just that, using a lot of women to do it with. So I'm going to pull something up. Give me just a minute. Now, this, thank you, you know who you are, recorded this for me with the chat. The chat will come in very handy. Chris is in the chat. Okay. Now, before she had left our Discord, she said she couldn't, because I asked her, oh, let me say this too. Chris, would you go ahead and put that recording out? Because listen, when we asked you to come into voice chat that day and you said, I'm busy right now. I don't want my kids to hear that I'm a crazy bitch. I knew right then. No, what you're doing is you're setting up your recording to record what's about to go down. If you think I'm going to be embarrassed, you're wrong. You put that out, make it go viral. Okay, I don't care. We knew that you had recorded. We knew that you were taking screenshots out for some time. So I'm going to let a little bit of this play. Fair use. Educational.
Wait, I gotta talk about here. You're blackmailing me? Be on your panel? Do you know how lame that is? I'm not putting my personal life out there. I'm not trying to put your personal life out there either. What'd I say? Nah. Oops, sorry.
Now, this is Matthew's live from last night. I should have gave some context where he has his messages between him and our friend on screen. He had warned her the day before that if she didn't get a hold of him and speak to him, he would put out their messages. And to me, that felt icky and blackmailish. Like, she ain't got to do that.
It's really, really weird. And ask yourself, regardless of the circumstances, if you were told that some guy was saying to a woman that hadn't spoken to him for months, either you get in contact with me or you get up on this panel, or I'm just going to put everything out, wouldn't you consider that questionable at the very least? Or does he get a pass for that because you like him?
Or because he's a man. You know, a lot of men in this sector get passes. We've seen it time and time again. But to me, yep, blame Katie. It was very blackmailish, like she hadn't done anything to him, but stop
And she
talking
knew
to
it was
him.
going to make a difference. That was the thing. She knew whether she
Yep.
got in touch with him or not, he was doing this. So she said nothing.
And Matthew is somebody who makes he inserts himself in female business a lot. He's done it with Daisy Cow, Jinkies, they're sisters. Um God, well, two I won't mention right now. And these two women, he does this. I mean, you know, it is what it is. It's just his content. If you're a female, he's going to get y'all. He's going to try to get y'all fighting, and if you fall for it, that's I don't know what to tell you. But this is what's up on the screen is messages between him and the other friend, our friend. So he does put them out. So I'm gonna let some more of this play.
Which reminds me of my mom. I'm sure you guys are waiting for me to do the voices. I'm sure you're not reading ahead. Don't be reading ahead now. I was like, nah, son. I don't bother anyone. That's a lie. I'm hardly around. That's a lie. I'm out here living my real life. Hold on, I got sideways looking to the camera. Leave. I forgot what I said in the mess. I'm sure it was some slip.
Now, let me tell y'all, before Chris left the Discord, I specifically asked Chris, are you doing this for Matthew? No, I can't stand him. Fuck that motherfucker. Okay. Well, who put the battery in your back? Anyway, you see Chris is in chat. I wish I could make this bigger. Chris is in the chat, and then I come in that chat too.
Look at pimp ass shit. Like, yes, please. Just leave me alone. At least nobody needs this. I really do wish you well. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do now.
Now, if you can see down at the bottom, hold on, I'll read it to y'all because it's not the best. Give me just a second. Let's see. It's Chris. She says, "Aw, Soup, how cute. With your threats in my DMs right now. Hey guys, I get my own spotlight tomorrow on Soup's Live." Yes, you do. You sure do. And I'll pull up those screenshots in a minute. There was no threats. Give me just a second. I'll read them to you, but I'll also pull them up so there's no confusion. Give me just a second. Oh, them. Here's what I said to Chris. I said, there's something you forgot. I'll remind you tomorrow. You should have left me out of this. And she really should have. It's all you tomorrow. I hope you have a good memory. You can't delete nothing now. And that's true, Chris. You can't. And that's not a threat. I said, you know you fucked up, right? I didn't know shit. You brought me into this. You forget too quickly what you've said and done. Put out the recording. You know when you had to wait on your son to get off the phone to set up for recording? You thought we didn't know. We knew, Chris.
I'm sure you do now. So let's get to chapter 3. Chapter 3. I mean, this is Tanga talking directly to you now, Tanga. Hey, it's Daddy talking. What's up? Okay, that was uncalled for. 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 That was uncalled for.
Oh yeah, play it off as a joke. We all know what you're doing. You're exploitative and you're abusive.
Yep. Yep, you sure are. Hey, Huddy Buddy. I know I see my little Huddy Buddy in here. Huddy, Vicky, this is about something else. It's not Nature Boy, but goodness, it's a mess. Yeah, you're good. Everybody's good. I'm not going to say everybody's welcome to their not because I would poke myself in my own eye. No, everybody's good.
But
Hey, Daddy.
that's her. That right
Hey,
there.
Daddy.
That's her. But to her credit,
Yeah,
it sounded
that's
like she was
also
like,
not
hey, Daddy.
Tanga's voice. That's synthesized AI voice. Why he feels the need to do that, I don't know.
Yeah, he even says that it was synthesized AI.
I mean, she has before, but that from that recording right there, no, because that's when I first started talking about I'm about to do the okay. I be hearing in the boonies, y'all be hearing stuff. It's like footsteps. That's crazy, man. Water be yowza. Zaddy. I'm a little upset. If everybody could call me Zaddy, that would be cool. With the Z. I'm a little disappointed if somebody could hit me with the Zaddy. I'd be like, hey, even though she's probably done that before too. Anyway, where was I at? Blah, 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 blah. Leave me alone, please. Nobody needs that. La, 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 la.
Now you'll see me down there. I said, Chris, no threats, but remember what you done. Now, I really had to think about this. I come really close to putting out some of the things that Chris has done. I really did. Because I was pissed. I was in my emotions. But I thought, no, I'm not doing that yet. Now, things can always change. We have to see how things go. But Chris, you do remember, right? And this is another thing I want to say to you, Chris. You were always getting fussed at. Do you tell people why a lot of people had to get on to you a lot of times? Yeah. Anyway, I just want you to remember you probably shouldn't be out here acting like you ain't got nothing to hide when you were in a lot of mess, Chris. That's why a lot of times, you felt like you were getting fussed at all the time. We would have to ask, why did you do that? Why are you doing this? What purpose did that serve? But, here's the thing, and I'm sure you'll agree with me, Pearl. They're all adults in Discord. We don't run them.
Absolutely. But when you do stuff and people go, oh, Chris is a jerk, then obviously we've got to have a concern about that. Most of the time, the fussing, as you say, was to say, Chris, don't do this and make us have to put you out. Like, we've put other people out. We can't make a special exemption for you just because we're fond of you. If you get yourself involved in some fuck shit, but that was wasted breath. Given more chances, really, than anybody, there were lots of borderline situations, and we stood and backed you when loads of things were going down. Tanga even invited you up on panel when you were being attacked by another creator and some some business to do with her daughter. We gave you the space to come up and put your side We tried to support you as much as we possibly could. And boy, that was a thankless task in the end, wasn't it?
It really was. It was a slap in the face, and at the end, um, it really was. There were so many times, y'all, that we would go to bat for Chris. People said she sold her kid for a car. No, she did. And I'll say that to this day. Chris didn't sell her kid for a car. Come on now, knock it off. But not just that, there were so many things that, we would go to bat for Chris for, because with Chris, you think, yeah, she's in a lot of fuck shit, but she gets the short end of the stick a lot.
Yeah,
But
and I
now looking,
genuinely did believe that she was pushed out. And when people said these outrageous things, I mean, I spent days making a video to make a joke out of it, to sort of laugh it off, to sort of try and help, because she was getting so much stick for it. Um,
yeah,
what can you say?
a lot of things that we could have just stayed out of, but because we actually did care about Chris, we weren't going to let her go down alone. That's just not how we were. But
And
again,
also, as Star says, this allegation that Chris is some sort of groomer. If you genuinely believe that, Mrs. Whatever the hell your name is, you'd be at the police station. You wouldn't be talking about it on YouTube, because what responsible parent would do that? If you had factual evidence of anything, you would be at the police station. And the fact that you're not, and you've got to make a big storyline out of some text with your own narrative nailed on, that even other creators who got no time for us or Chris could see right through, then that's a problem. I am not going to turn on Chris about that just because I am disappointed and pissed off.
no, it doesn't. Certainly, it doesn't suddenly turn into, well, maybe she is all these things. No, I don't think that. I do believe that she's messy and she can't maintain, and she will stab you in the back. Those are the
There
things
are
that
some things that she's definitely done. I mean, there are that we know that she's done.
yeah. Yeah, and I'm just going to keep a lot of that to myself right now. But test me if you want to.
Chapter 3. I'll get to why I'm doing all this. You guys we're seasoning right now. We ain't even started cooking yet. So just bear with me, y'all. Let me look into your eyes real quick. Anyway, I'm just kidding. I'm not looking into nobody's eyes. My nails are clean at least. Shout out to my nails being clean. Hey, clean nails. Anyway, chapter 3. Leave me alone, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's what I was like. Leave me alone? Question mark. I haven't been messing with you, so why are you talking about leave you alone? And then you hit me with the nipple.
There is nothing I can do about him. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm not
I
going to let
can't
the whole.
understand the thing he's saying.
I can't
I know
neither.
most of it is my hearing, but even so. I'm going to say something now, and Tanka's probably not going to thank me for saying it, but what the hell? I'm going to come out with it because I'm so sick of other people's medical situations being used as an excuse. Tanga has had spinal surgery recently, very serious spinal surgery. You might have noticed we haven't been around much. Thankfully, she came through that. She's still, unfortunately, has the serious condition where she has seizures. Not that anybody seems to give a damn about that. When she says that she hasn't been around in this message to him, that is the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. And very good point. This should be the umpteenth warning to anyone in contact with Matthew. Your messages will be content soon. Let me make this clear. For any other women that are talking to him, think, this is your buddy. No. You're next. Do not think you're special. And please do not think you're exempt. If Tanga wanted to, she could really hurt some feelings. She really could. Things that Matthew has said about some of y'all that are windmilling for him. I don't know, man. Please stop thinking that you're above it and that you're exempt from it. Nobody is. This is what he does. It's his thing. Just remember, it'll be you one day too.
Hit me with the fifth holes message. That's 5 for people though. 5 in a row. Skagak, 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 skagak. And then you hit me with the.
So I'm mostly not concerned, but more focused on what Chris is saying. So at the bottom, she says, "Oh, soap. Love, it's okay, because I hit leave server. I hit that record button too." Duh, Chris. Chris, did you think that we didn't know that? Why don't you put it out? I'll tell you exactly what I'm going to tell y'all what I said here right now, because it'll get put out, because Chris can't hold the water. It's just not in her. She can't do it. When she got on the thing, I said, I'm paraphrasing, and I was yelling. I said, "What the fuck is wrong with you? What do you mean?" Then she names off all of Tanga's business that she had, like I said earlier, that she had heard. Not that she knew for a fact, that she had heard from somebody else. And I said, "Okay, is this for Matthew?" "No, I can't stand that son of a bitch. I think he's nasty. Blah, 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 blah." I said, "Okay, then it's for J. Marie." "No, I've been talking to somebody in Matthew's chat, and I've heard some things that rules for thee. And I'm yelling some more. I'm like, "Okay, so you're somebody's send-off dummy because they can't come to us or whoever they're having the problem with themselves?" And then TJ sets her straight. She's like, "Look, Chris, you're wrong for this, putting somebody's business out there." See, when Chris came into the Discord, it was, how many different problems did she have? 3 or 4?
Oh God, it was 4 or 5, because at the point where I was thinking about writing a reply, quickly in the side chat to one point that was being made, another bomb was being thrown, and it was disjointed and it was shouting. And of course, TJ was concerned because all this personal business of Tanga's was just being blurted out, most of which we had never heard before anyway, into
Never
the
knew.
chat and the chat was full of people.
Yeah.
Now, as it is, they're all people that I would have said that I trusted, but then I would have said I trusted Chris. So what can you say?
And then here's where a lot of shit started last night, without letting a lot of this play. Chris calls me a liar and that I'm playing dumb, because in that voice chat, I said to Chris that this is some old beef between Tanga and J. Marie, because I thought it was some old beef between them two.
Yeah, we thought it went right back to the end of Ziggy's chat. There was a whole sort of difficult situation then, and we thought that, and in some ways, it is still bad feeling from then. Like sometimes you fall out with somebody and you never ever really get on with them again, and that's fine. Loads of people do that. It's not the end of the world. This shouldn't
So
be.
it shouldn't be, but some people, like I said, they cannot maintain. They just can't do it. But when I said this was some old beef and it was none of our business, It's because at the time I thought it was some old beef. So I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Because
Well,
let me
yeah,
say
because
this.
the new issue, the recent issue, where we set a boundary and decided that a couple of people, one left of their own accord, but a couple of people we didn't want anymore in the chat because of the things that they were quite happy to co-sign. That was a recent thing, and that had nothing to do with Tanga. In fact, the irony is that when the majority of us, well, more than a majority, it was a full house. The full house of us decided that this person really wasn't, we didn't want them in the voice chat anymore if they were quite happy to be over there because the behaviour that was going on over there hurt two people that we love very dearly.
Yeah.
And that was the decision. And you make it for yourself. Once you decide where you want to be, that's fine. You've decided that you're not really uh, in line with our way of thinking. And there's no reason why you should be. You don't have to be. But we have
Right.
a right to stand by the people that we love just as much as you do. And that's what we did. And the irony is, the two people who spoke up for you to say bring you back
Yeah.
were Tanga and Soup, the very
Yeah.
people that you're dragging through the mud. Um, the very person who was speaking up for Chris right to the last minute was Tanga in the jerk room.
Yeah. Yeah. Tanga. Tanga, the one she threw up under the bus real easy, was the one that was taken up for Chris uh, a year ago, taken up for Chris about our channel. Like, we should give her a chance. Me and Chris go way back to the Nita days. She's actually a good person. Yeah, she's in a lot of mess, but we should give her a chance. And we did just that. And that was Tanga that was advocating for Chris. Uh, Honestly, looking back, we should have took the warnings that we had had that, look, Chris just cannot maintain. Again, Chris can't maintain friendships. After a while, they're disposable to her. She throws them away because she prefers drama. She gets restless. And which I'll get into later, the lesson that I've learned from this. But
I mean, some married couples are like that. They have to have a blowout and a big row. You know, sort of like they're going along quite happily, then they have a big blowout, sulk for a few days, and then they're fine again. If that's the sort of way you have relationships, that's fine. But I'm not married to you, and I'm not playing the game. I'm not interested in it. I don't want a big blow up every 6 months.
no, no. And God, I forgot where I was going with Chris. Oh, and then J. Marie hit us up about a month ago because we were kicking people from Discord that were inactive. Uh, some of y'all may or may not know, but every 3 months there's an issue with the Discord. Somebody comes in, takes something out, not saying that J. Marie did, but I'll be quite honest, and I was honest with her about it. As close as she was with Matthew, I didn't know if she was taking stuff out or not, and she wasn't active. But here's the thing: J. Marie did reach out to me. She was telling me things that she had heard about my friend Tanga, and what I'll do is I'll get you in touch with the source, the person you have the issue with, because I can't fix it. You know what I'm saying? It's
Soup
not my
never even
bad.
told us.
Yeah, I
That
never
is
even
not.
told y'all. Right.
Again, that's not how she rolls. She's not somebody who's going to bring it to all of us. She'll take it to the person that's involved and will treat it as if it's a private matter, which, God, if only more adults could do that.
Yeah, I
I
think you all
gather
would say.
that there was a big complaint from Jane Marie that somehow when she came back, that she was restricted in some way. We tried to work out what the hell she meant because there aren't any, other than the jerks room, which is just the jerks. There are no secret rooms in the Discord, and she said that her coming back was restricted, and we were like, "What the hell?" And it took us ages to figure out. And we finally figured it out this morning. The Discord is set up so that when people come back, they can't read the previous day's conversations. That's a
Mhm.
default setting for anybody
Default.
coming back
Yeah.
in. It was not something that was designed especially for you. If we'd have known and realised it was going to be a big issue, we could have turned it off. But no, everything has to be a conspiracy and a
Yeah. It's
victimhood. And
always. Yeah. It's always got to be something bigger than what it is. You got to go talk, rally the troops. Oh my God, they restricted me. Here's what I mean, God Almighty, why don't you just ask? Am I restricted? No. Why do you think you are? And then tell us why. And then we could have addressed that issue too. And I think
exactly.
that's,
You could have just
yeah,
said, I came in, I can't see any of the messages other than when I came in. And we
yeah,
would have gone,
Mazikeen.
oh, right, it must be in the settings. And we could have fixed it. But no,
Look at
it had to be a big
Mazikeen.
drama.
Mazikeen, she got kicked not because of anything she done. That's a long story. That's funny. We had to kick her. She knew that we were going to kick her and bring her right back. When we brought her right back, she couldn't see the previous messages. But Mazikeen didn't think that she was restricted in any way and go and find other people to whatever.
And that's how we remembered it this morning. It
Yeah.
suddenly dawned on us that that default is still there. It is not, it was not a deliberate thing, Jay Marie. I'm sorry that you think that it was.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. It's unfortunate because had you had just asked, that could have been cleared up. All right. I'm going to let a little bit more of this play, Pearl, and I'm going to run to the ladies' room and I'll be right back.
Why are you mother? What I say? Not sure why you're trying to make it seem like I'm mad at you. Let's skip to this so we can see it better. Gotta enlarge it, dog. I can't see shit. Not sure why you're trying to make it seem like I'm mad at you. Was I mad at any other shady woman I exposed? Tony. Sorry, I coughed. It sneezed. Susan. I thought you were different at one point, but no. You had a lot of people fooled. You still do. Probably until the end of this live.
This is pretty fucking
You know
rich
what?
coming from you.
Actually, I'm not going to take credit for that because so many people already know about you, Tanga, and I say that you really are. So you continue with go away. I just didn't want to fight with you. I have to avoid stress at all costs. Anyone that knows me knows that's true. You know who really, for real, should be avoiding stress and all that shit? That girl you've been talking crazy about. Her name is Jay Marie. She is the one. Oh, and what you said earlier about you've been having seizures for the last few days. When you sent that to me, the previous 2 days, you was in the Discord talking shit, calling people bitches and this and that.
That's not
Yeah.
true.
Who was
I
she
wish she had
calling
been in
bitches?
there. I don't know, but he said that the previous days when she said that she's been having seizures. I don't know if he knows how long a seizure lasts. But two, I wish Tanga had actually been in the voice chat calling everybody bitches. I miss her being in there. It sucks when one of us is ill and it breaks up the group, but unfortunately it happens.
Yeah, it does. And then you see Chris. I wish I could make this bigger. She says, all you had to do was tell the truth, Soup. You chose to play dumb. Really? And then Lolly.
Seriously?
Yeah,
This is the first time I'm hearing this. Fucking seriously, Chris?
right.
Have
Play
you
dumb.
lost your goddamn mind? See, have you lost your goddamn mind?
I love girl. You lost your goddamn. Here's the thing, Chris. I wasn't playing dumb. And if Jay Marie's honest, she will tell you, no, Soup didn't know. Mm-mm. Now, I said before, she came to me a month ago over some stuff about Tanga. I said, let me get you in touch with Tanga. I hooked them two up. I didn't really care about their conversation because it wasn't none of my business. I cannot express to you all enough when something like that is none of my business, I really don't try to involve myself in it. So, how again was I playing dumb because I thought this beef was old? If it's new or if it's old, Chris, I'm not playing dumb because I didn't get involved, unlike you. And Lolly,
Exactly. It's projection. It's projection.
it's
Because
very
Chris
much
can't
so.
imagine a situation where two people that she knew were arguing and she wasn't in the middle of it, getting all the details from both sides. She can't imagine that you weren't the same.
Yeah. And we got Lolly in here. Okay, this is one of Smiley's people. She says, Soup, move along and make your own content. Leave people alone. What the hell does that mean? Bitch, what are you talking about? I am talking to Chris in the chat. I don't know you and I'm not speaking to you, but I see that you feel left out. So right now I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make you my content a little bit here. You see how that works?
I see. I think that she thinks that because she was involved in something that Six Up covered, that therefore that is somehow related to us. Again, boundaries, people, your friends and the people you love are not you, and you are not them.
Yeah. So let me let a little bit more of this play to get to some of the comments. And then I want to get into a little deeper about I hit the mute button about friendships on social media, what I've learned, how I've got to take accountability as well.
Quick seizures. It must have been some very fast seizures. Oh, by the way, she exaggerates her seizures. Asking to prove it. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh.
Wow, Matthew.
You
she
absolute
exaggerates her
little
seizures.
Cunt of a man. You have no idea.
Wow. I
You
didn't hear
have
that.
no idea. I didn't. This is the first time I'm hearing this. I didn't listen to anything that you said last night, Matthew. I won't listen to anything that you say tonight. I won't care what you say tomorrow. Have at it.
I have heard Tanga have a seizure. I've heard her after a seizure. I don't think you have a clue what this woman's been through. And if you do, you don't care.
Way, if you want to have a conversation, we can do that. Really? When did that happen? More bullshit out of Tanga, you guys. More bullshits. But I don't air personal shit on YouTube. Anyway, I'm not participating. Bitch, I do though. Okay, here is when autocorrect was like, hey, Matt, let me take over from here. And I was like, I'm not paying attention. I meant to put, especially when somebody's lying. She was like, and then autocorrect was like, you know
well,
what?
I'm sure
Let me keep going.
that you're an absolute professor on the field of lying. Years of experience under your belt.
Right. And then we got Chris again. All you had to do was tell the truth, Soup. You chose to lie and play dumb. Still don't know what this goober's talking about. Hey, Chris, why don't you start telling the truth? I doubt you'll do that. Yeah. And then she said, "Oh, I say truth?" ? J. Marie and Tanga's God old ass beef isn't mine. It's not old, Soap. Oh my God, I am so sorry that I do not know the ins and outs of their issues. Wasn't my business. Didn't give a damn. Still don't. You know, here's the thing. I got to say this. If I didn't say this already, Tanga never brought her issues to us. Who she spoke to, what she was doing on the side, she never brought it to us. And even if she had, which she didn't, I'm still able to do a show with Tanga.
And she'd never ever said to us, up until the moment where it became a conversation amongst all of us, for all their dispute, Tanga never had an issue with Jo Marie being in the Discord. Now, if it was purely a Tanga issue, wouldn't that have been the case? Why would Tanga have been one of the people speaking up for letting her back? Make it make sense.
Please make that make sense, because Tanga was the one who said, I feel bad. Why don't we just let her back? Sure. She comes back. She talks for a few days. She's not there no more. I mean, she was kicked. It was no war. It seems like to a lot of these people, everything has to be so dramatic. Because if you notice, J. Marie was kicked from the Discord for inactivity. The next day, Chris comes in with all the smoke. That wasn't a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidences. Somebody was in Chris's ear, and we all know that Chris is way too easy. You can get, God almighty, you tell her anything, and it's like you might as well go to the newspaper with it or Facebook. I don't know.
You're not paying attention. And I was like, you're right, autocorrect. I'm not paying attention. So then I was like, what I meant to say was, because that would be you. But what came out was, if that would be you, LOL. She was like, huh? Did I came up on the jerks? LOL. Yo, when? Yes. That's a yes.
Matthew, you know this, and we know this. Tanga ain't catfishing. I've seen her on camera. Just because she don't cam up on the jerks, none of us cam up on the jerks. I cam up on my channel. Tanga ain't catfishing, and you know that. You know Tanga looks good. Yeah, you do.
You want
There's no
Tanga to switch
catfishing.
her camera on? Somebody who risks having seizures. You think she wants to have a seizure on camera? You absolute oaf. That's the whole point of using an avatar and her being able to mute in and out as she sees fit, and for us to be able to mute her in case she has a fucking seizure, you brain surgeon. Also, when Tanga's daughter got married, we were seeing videos and photos all through that day that she was just dropping randomly into the jerks. How the hell is she catfishing doing that? Explain to me.
Explain it, please. Why is my September stuff not coming up? I love September. Her stuff should not be hidden. So I'm going to let a little bit more play to give some more context of what's going on.
Yes. Hold on. Everybody that wants to see Tanga cam up for the jerks, put a 1 in the chat, because she said it, not me. She said it. I think Cornbread might have mentioned it like 13 times. But anybody? I want to see her cam up. Let's see. I'll put a 1 there. Anybody? I'll put a 1. Cam up. You should. Why wouldn't you?
All right. And here's where Chris, I don't know if she's just being willfully ignorant here or she just truly doesn't understand. Either is possible. She says, you all said it happened over a year ago. Now you say a month. Chris, when you came into Discord, I said that Tanga and J. Marie's beef was old. The month thing, I said me and J. Marie and Tanga spoke a month ago. That's when I got them two together so they could work it out, and I was good. You're not understanding, and I'm not making it hard. So what happens next is I hit up J. Marie. Yep. And I'm easy on J. Marie. I'm like, why did you get me involved in this? And I'm like, let me look. I'm not going to read her. I don't do that, but hold on. I hope I don't have to. Give me just a second. Let me pull hers up. I just want to read y'all what I said to her. I said, "Why did you bring me into this? You could have talked to anyone. You wasn't in Discord, and when you was kicked, you brought me into it. I have been nothing but kind to you." Now, I'm not going to read verbatim, but she says, "I didn't. Um, but this beef isn't 3 years old. I never had beef with Tanga. I fucking loved Tanga up until a few months ago." And then I talked to her about me and her and Tanga getting together and her and Tanga having that conversation. And I asked her, why is Chris so confused? Um, and then it goes on and on and on and on. I'm not reading all the personal messages, but because I don't feel good about doing that. And I tell her, I'm like, none of this makes sense. Chris turned on us so quickly. And when I say quickly, it was like, she asked us that day, she was like, haven't you noticed a change in me since TJ yelled at me? No, I haven't. Because here's the thing. If you were upset with TJ yelling at you, you had all the opportunity to say something to TJ. And I think what she was talking about was who's going to stream who. But if that was your problem, you could have addressed it. Okay. Then it was the whole, like I said, rules for thee. Tits and soap was in Matthew's Discord. And they didn't say nothing to Matthew. No, because again, I'll say we did not want to give this situation any air, Chris. First of all, it's about two people we love very much. You know who those people are. Their life is not up for content. The end. I am not going to go attack Matthew over what he said so we can have internet beef. It's not worth it. So really, Chris, what it really came down to is, like I said earlier, you cannot maintain friendships. After a while, you'll throw them away.
Also, can I say something about the logic of that? Tits and Soup were in that Discord, had been for a long time, didn't actually go in there.
Yeah, I
went in there once to see who was in the voice chat because of the way that we thought things were going down. There is no comparison between people being regularly in his chat while he's saying bullshit things about people that we love, and those two being members of his chat and going in on him in circumstances where it's not being said. I don't know why this is a difficult concept.
I'm confused on why it's difficult too. Me and Tanga were in his Discord, but we didn't go in his Discord. I went into his Discord about a month ago when he was trying to get something started with Annabella Hannes and us. I went in there, confronted him. Well, not like I'm confronting you, just like asking question, is there a problem? He said, no, there's no problems. And then me, him, and J. Marie talked about kids and grocery stores. Sorry, I had to put my coffee in the microwave. I let it get cold. But usually,
do you want to say anything about the Annabelle situation, or do you want to just leave it?
No, I'm getting into Annabella too.
Right, because I'm quite happy to make this clear that it is not a complicated thing. Annabelle, we were not comfortable with you being in the Discord, listening to personal conversations when you're on a panel and being all friendly with Ziggy. Ziggy, who has doxed the majority of the people in the jerks, given their addresses to somebody to use, constantly talks down to them. And currently, there's people's attorney generals are aware of this whole situation, and it's part of a process. How stupid would we be to have somebody in the Discord who is now friendly, appears to be that friendly with Ziggy, and there's a whole legal aspect to this. It isn't any more complicated than that. You made the choice yourself. You can't, I'm sorry, that you can't be Ziggy's friend and be in our Discord because
No.
she's tried to interfere in people's private lives.
And Annabella knew that. Because I want to tell you something. I liked Annabella for a long time. Annabella was with us long ago. You know what I'm saying? But our Discord was a Zig free zone, and we have that right. I don't know why people, it's not about going where you want. Go where you want, but you can't come back in our Discord. It's a Zig free zone, as Pearl said. She had doxed many of our friends. I could go on and on about what Ziggy has done. So if that's where you want to be, that's fine, honey. Go be where you want to be. But when you got kicked from the Discord, you're another one who went to Matthew. And I
And
think
can I stress here as well, actually, that this is nothing to do with Six Up. Six Up never even gave you a second glance about this. She didn't even get to make a comment about it. We made that decision. We decide this is our digital sitting room. We don't have to. It's not a member's perk anymore. We don't have to just say, come on in. Feel free to listen to the conversation and go and tell it to Ziggy. Feel free to find out what's going on with Six Up and the way that she's moving on in her life and go back and tell it to Ziggy. And I'm not saying that you would, but that chance is always there. And I'm not willing to make people uncomfortable. So unfortunately, if you're comfortable with Ziggy, then go away and be comfortable with Ziggy. Have a good day. I'm happy for you. But you can't have both. Sorry, that's just the way it is. I am not sharing my conversations with you if that's who you choose to share conversations with.
no, not with the risk of you running it back. Not going to happen. And you probably did run it back. It's just the way it is. There's a lot of people like that. They I don't know what happens with these relationships on social media, but they love to run to other YouTubers, content
Yeah,
creators, channel holders, and here's what I found, here's what I got, so they can get a little pat on the head.
that's
Thank
right.
you, good work. You're not going to
It
do
was
that.
nothing to do with Matthew and certainly nothing to do with Cornbread. So why on earth they're sort of gearing up like it's some sort of battle for them to take on? It's seriously not that serious. Hey, Kim.
We ain't going to do it like Eliza. Hey, Kim. But
Can we talk about Eliza while we've
yes,
mentioned her name? I would
yes.
like to. Um, Lolita, in a phone call with Ziggy, was exceptionally rude and bitchy about Eliza. To be honest, it's probably one of the few things I've really got against her, against Lolita, because she just gifted Ziggy an opportunity to embarrass Eliza by releasing that phone call for no other reason than just to embarrass her. Matthew did very much the same thing. He tried to make a couple of what appeared to be relatively light-hearted comments into something more serious. Now, I'm not defending Tanga on what she has or hasn't said. I don't know the full extent of it, but what I will say is this. I have never heard any of these women talk about Eliza in a derogatory way. And you know why that is? Because Eliza's an absolute fucking gift to have as a friend. She works hard. She's caring. She will always be there if you've got an issue. She has one of the greatest gifts talking to children that I've ever come across. When people have got their kids in the background or grandchildren, and I speak particularly of TJ's granddaughter, Ellie, the way that Eliza loves Ellie and Ellie loves Eliza is beautiful. And Eliza's been really hurt by this for no reason other than you wanted to cause trouble.
Yep.
You never really forgave Eliza for I don't know what, because you created a situation where you said that she dropped the N word, knowing what an explosive thing that was to say, and more so, knowing how it would hurt Eliza. And now you've done it again with something else. Just leave Eliza out of this bullshit. She's a wonderful woman. She's got a load of things going on in her life. She doesn't need this. And I'm quite happy to fight a corner for her if it comes to it. Leave her alone.
And the whole Soup said white people are going to white people. No, Matthew, I never said that to you.
Not a
That's not
chance.
no.
Who
I
is the
said to
person who would say that sort of thing?
you.
Me.
I
I
said
would
to
with but
Matthew.
in this circumstance, not in this circumstance, I would never have defended Matthew over Eliza with that bullshit. So I know that none of them did. And that is not an expression that I've ever heard Soup or Tanga say. But I tell you now, it's an expression they've heard me say.
I
We could
would say that, and I did say this to Matthew because he was, upset with how upset she had gotten by him saying that she said the N word, even though he said he was just joking. Here's the thing, in today's climate, you can't say stuff like that about a white woman and
a
not
white
expect
woman of her age, particularly.
they're going to get upset because this is the internet. People hear what they want to hear, and they're going to be like, oh my God, Eliza used the N word and she's white. Of course, that upset her because she would never use that word. And that's the only thing I said to you, Matthew, is that, yeah, she got upset about that, rightfully so. It upset her. It really got to her. Whether you were joking, and you were joking, but it wasn't a joke that she felt funny, and for good reason. Um, yeah. Here's the thing. Let me take this off screen because there's really not much more to show on Matthew, but there's more to talk about here. Um, friendships on social media are something to be studied. I would suggest keeping your circle very, very small. When there are bigger groups, as often there is in Discord, and not talking bad about my own kind, but women, especially, okay. We're very emotional creatures. It's just who we are. My lesson here, that something that I've learned is I'm going to just keep my circle really small from now on. There are still so many people in that other Discord that I love and respect and will still talk to. It has nothing to do with them. I just think ultimately at some point, because we've seen this time and time again, it's just what it is. It's like every 3 months, somebody comes through, they take out a screenshot, they get mad and leave, and then run and gossip about everything being talked about in there. Now, we always say that if you're going to, whatever you say in Discord, make sure you're able to stand on it outside of Discord. I try to make a habit of doing that. That's why I've always said, careful what you record of me because I'm going to hurt your friends' feelings. That's just the way it is. Because I'm just the same all the time, as I am in Discord as I am right now. I don't know what some people are doing on here, looking for some time to kill in life, and then they end up, you know, I don't know, they end up ruining all their friendships that they've made. When I tell y'all that we truly loved and adored Chris, we did. I guess that maybe she found somebody she wanted to be a hero for. Exactly, Vicky. But you know what, Vicky? You know, Vicky, I've been around a long time. And I've been in back chats. I've never had anything I said put out. And people say, it's Discord. It's Discord. Discord's the devil. Well, what I think happens in that type of back chat, not where me and you were more used to Instagram back chats. I think with Discord back chats, you have so many people, so many personalities. You're going to say something that's going to offend somebody, because God knows there's always somebody looking to be offended. They hold on to that. And then when you've pissed them off or you've said something they don't like, there it goes. It's all over the internet. It just is what it is. And maybe sometimes people feel like they need to be a hero on here. Maybe they're lacking, or feel like they're lacking in their real life. And I think with J. Marie and Chris, I think Chris, and I told J. Marie this, so I'm not saying anything behind her back. I'm just keeping it a buck up here. It's all I can do. I think J. Marie was, I'm just going to say it. I think J. Marie was feeling a way about Matthew and Tanga talking. And this is my perception. This is just what I'm seeing. And the women, I think she felt a way about it. Matthew doing what Matthew does, keeps himself inserted in female business, likes to keep fights going. Ran back to J. Marie and told her some things that Tanga had said. Now, Tanga, it's some of the things that one of the things she said, I know that she regrets. And when her and J. Marie spoke, when I'm telling you, they worked it out. I thought they worked it out. They did. Well, on Tanga's side. But hold on just a minute, y'all. Hold on. All right, I'm back. There's always someone offended. And another thing, I don't care who feels comfortable with this and who don't. I'm going to tell you something. Tanga didn't feel comfortable with her personal business putting out. No. I didn't feel comfortable with Chris lying on me in a chat. I don't care who gets mad. I really don't. Some of y'all are way too sensitive for this shit anyway. Honestly. And if you think that you're going to stifle me, you're not. I don't care who's comfortable or who is uncomfortable. I said what I said. And I might say more. Okay? Nobody had a problem when Matthew went live last night putting out personal conversations. No one had a problem with what Chris had to say in that chat. But now you feel uncomfortable? So, some of the lessons I've learned, not everybody is for you, not everybody's your friend, and that's okay. It doesn't have to
Yeah,
be
they were fine. Fine with Matthew doing that last night. I think it's a definite case of rules for thee.
Yeah, yeah. Rules for thee, which I hate whoever came up with that. If I ever hear it again, I'll puke. I'm kidding, Pearl. But yeah, some people are feeling away, and I don't care. I don't care. They didn't feel away last night when all of Tanga's business was being put out, and they didn't feel away when Chris was screaming all of Tanga's business in that Discord for people that didn't know. They didn't feel a way about that. So there's always got to be a victim and there's always got to be a hero. You know, victims, they'll use guilt too. Their past hardships to play on others because they won't pick up their own sword. And then, you know, you got somebody that'll come along and there's a hero comes along. Oh, God. Magpie, you want, what are you talking about? For clarity, who is they in that scenario? Did you just get here? I've had a whole life. For clarity on what? Did you just get here? I've had a whole live talking about this. I'll wait for you to respond. You said that some people were okay with Matt's live, but they aren't okay with this today. Yeah. I don't know, Magpie. Who was you wondering? Was you wondering about anybody? Thank you. Make your questions more clear, please. No, Michelle. No one has a problem with you. I don't know who you're speaking about, so that's why I'm asking. Well, there was a whole lot of people that didn't have an issue with Matthew's live last night and what he was putting out. But there'll be people today that'll have an issue with us talking about it. There'll be people that involve themselves and it has nothing to do with them because they feel like they need a windmill for. I'm not going to hold myself back. And I've been doing that for too long. See, Matthew put everything out last night. And now that I'm talking about it, is there a problem? I'll wait. Nobody had an issue with what he had to say. Is there an issue with what I'm saying? With what Pearl's saying? Magpie?
When I said the rules for thee, I was just sarcastically saying it. But the bottom line is, people, we had a problem with all the stuff that went on in the chat. We had a problem with what was going on in Matthews. Some people didn't seem to have a problem with either. I don't know whether they'll have a problem with what's being said now, but I'll be incredibly surprised if they don't.
I don't know what question you didn't hear, Magpie. I hate agreeing with you on that, corn dog. But yeah, a little bit. And I have a lot of love for Colleen. Colleen's a good woman. She really is. But yeah, sorry for anybody that this is bothering, which I haven't seen it bother anybody. I I was going to go live about this today to address Chris. And I don't feel any way about it. And I think once I stop, thinking, not saying thinking about other people, but who's going to get offended by what, I think I've been doing that for too long and I'm not going to do it anymore. Whatever I want to talk about, I'm going to talk about it. Unfortunately, the subject that we're on today has already been put out twice. The other night, Matthew said, Tanga, if you don't get a hold of me, I'm putting out our conversations. Guess what? The next night he put out their conversations, and he's probably not done. And then we get drug into it. That's right, Vicky. That's exactly right. He's thank you, Susan. He's probably not done. He's going to bring out more conversations. And the part that feels unfair to me is literally none of us were a part of this. But someone decided to make us a part of it. So now here I am. Here's Pearl. We're talking about it.
The funny thing is that we've never had shouting like that in the voice chat ever. Not even when all the bullshit went down with Lolita.
That was the first. I don't think I've ever shouted in a Discord until that night.
I don't remember there being an argument in the Discord. Like I said, even when all the stuff went down with Lolita, because it was a closed wall trying to talk to her, there was no argument. And the people who weren't directly involved, who were in the Discord, there was just unity. And then just to experience that last weekend was really strange. I don't know who the hell wound you up like that, Chris, or what the heck was going on. But you came in determined to burn the place down as far as you were concerned. You knew that, like, you were coming in, kicking everything over and never coming back. And yeah, it would have been nice to have actually had a conversation.
A real conversation.
A real conversation, not just blurting out people's business. TJ was never going to let that fly. It was not personal. It wasn't because you were Chris. It was because you were saying what you were saying. Anybody who'd come in and said that would have had the same experience.
Yeah, that it could have been anybody. It would have been the same. And what sucks so bad about it is we were told, God, we were warned so many times. This is just who Chris is. And as I always say, hold on just a second. You got it for a minute?
Yep, I've got it, girl. I don't know. I don't understand what anybody thinks is going to come from this that's any good. Did you think that we were all going to turn on each other? Because I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that's not happening. Even if we're frustrated that we didn't know what was going on with Tanga, ultimately we believe that we're not entitled to know what goes on with Tanga, and that you're certainly not entitled to blurt it all over the internet. That doesn't mean that we're going to turn on her. I am immensely angry about the way that Eliza has been hurt. And I would advise anybody to leave Eliza alone, because I am at my limit of tolerating people's bullshit with that. She's done nothing to deserve snide comments. She's a better person than almost anybody else I know in this place. And yeah, just leave her out of it. Just because you've got some petty axe to grind because, your supposed joke, which really was a way of attacking her, didn't play the way that you wanted it to play. Yes, you're right, Susan. Purple did tell us about Chris, but I have to say, I'm not really one for trusting Purple's opinion of people. As it turns out, she was correct on this. A broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, we were warned and warned and warned about Chris, but we grew to like her. We really did, even love her. But unfortunately, when you're told about somebody over and over and over and over, historically, this is what they do, maybe just take it into consideration. And that's where I have got to start making changes. Um, I really do want to like people. I really do want to laugh and cut up. And my motto is has always been, I came here to have a good time, and I plan on continuing to do that, but not at the expense of my peace ever again. Ever again. When you drag me into something, whether it be by proxy, you sent somebody else to do it, or you told somebody else some information and they came to us to go off for you when you were there and you could have said something. I just don't, I'm not going through this anymore. Never again. Keep your circle small.
Yeah.
And
I'll
please
be
be,
honest, I'm going to miss Chris. I'm going to
yeah,
miss laughing with you, Chris. I'm going to miss your funny little stories about you and your dog, and your exasperation when it's prom season and you've got a whole, or Mother's Day, and you've got a whole load of floral things to do. You were very, very funny. You could be very sweet. You could be very loving. You could be very kind. I don't know what the hell happened last weekend. It was like, I don't know, the full moon came out and you werewolfed your way in there and just started shredding necks. I mean, my God. I hope it was worth it.
I do too. And unfortunately, for those that are now, thinking Chris is, she's the best, it'll be you next, unfortunately. I would like to see her change, but people often don't know how. I think Chris is in her 40s. You're probably not going to change at that age. It'll be repetitive behavior. I do too, Michelle. I wish it all could have been sorted out. It wasn't going to be a war. When Chris, when she was kicked from Discord, we were never going to discuss it until, we were brought into it last night by Matthew's live and the things that she was saying in there. And yeah, that's not how this works. I do too. Six
I'd
up. I
also
wish.
like you to make it very clear that we're not expecting anybody to pick a side. It's not
Mm-mm.
happening.
Nope.
People are individuals, they're adults. People can coexist in places together.
Yep.
Oh, Tiny Dancer here with the fighting talk.
I know. Six up. I absolutely will not be talking. God, I lost it. About my friendships on YouTube. This is what they wanted, not happening. Yep. And that's what they
That's
got.
right, it is, it is.
Yeah. They brought it to Matthews, and this is what he wanted. And I know Matthew. He is sitting back laughing. He's enjoying this.
Oh, of course
Um,
he is, of course he is.
mm,
And goodness knows that his channel needs a little bit of CPR. Um, this should be good for, well, possibly 100 views. Um,
but I'll say
you might want to
this.
ask yourself, though, where the longevity could really be given to a channel by this sort of constant petty disputes.
I like that, New Jersey Robin. No expectations, no disappointments. And I will remember that going forward. Um, I've had to learn some lessons here too. Even if you're not involved in something, people will try to drag you into it. And when they do, you know, don't be surprised when I go live about it to talk about it. It is what it is. Whether people like it or don't, I'm going. Shout out to Wee Frosty. She knows what I'm talking about. She's definitely been encouraging me later. And Tiny, get back to you, get back to what you do. Yeah, definitely. Ziggy and Matthew. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'd already had the Ziggy conversation, Eliza, but you were catching up with the Karen Reid trial, which is ruling all our lives at the moment. Anybody who thinks that we're absolutely hooked to the screen of their lives, no, we're watching the Karen Reid trial.
All right, y'all. Well, that's it for now. I'm going to jump off here and get some stuff done. And Pearl, I really appreciate you coming up here with me.
Never a problem, darling. I know that some of the other girls would have liked to have come up, but work situation didn't allow them to, so they were in the chat. There is no lack of unity. We've already been talking about all of this before Soup went live. But
Mm-hmm.
don't call Soup a liar and not expect to have something to say. That's not going to fly.
Yeah. Yeah. Chris, you called me a liar and told me I was acting dumb. And then I'm not supposed to. Girl, come on now. Same. We love you too. Love you too, Mazakine. And it's okay. I'm sorry this is happening too, but some friendships are not meant to last forever. They can't. And some will. You know, I will be more selective moving forward.
Yeah, I'm definitely of the mind that there are no more vacancies in my circle at the present time. I will
Mm-hmm.
update you with adverts should a place come free.
Oh, love you all too. Yes, tits, definitely. I know, Kraken. You definitely will. I love you for that. Hey, Grandma
Cracking it, I've always
Sherry.
called it.
Do
I've come
what?
to the conclusion that from now, Cracking was the person who called it out from the beginning, months and months ago, like you predicting Ziggy and Fred. I've come to the conclusion that I can't trust my gut. For many, there's a whole joke in there that I won't get into because it's not for it's not for YouTube audiences. I'm going to trust Eliza's gut and TJ's gut because their guts know far better than my gut does. I have come to
Yeah,
the conclusion that my gut knows nothing.
I'm beginning to wonder about mine. Really, honestly. But I'll definitely take inventory of that from here on out. All right, y'all. I'm out. Y'all have a beautiful and blessed day. And I'll probably be live again real soon because I'm sure there's an
Okay.
uproar somewhere.
Oh, certainly. Bye-bye.
All right. Love you.
Love you, darling. Bye.
All right. Peace, y'all. Thanks, Iris. I'll see y'all later.